withdraw his plea of not guilty and plead guilty to the one count in the indictment, that being the grand theft of a motor vehicle, felony of the 4th degree, then we'd be able to proceed to sentencing. There's no sentencing agreement at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Matthews?
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be heard on my motion?
Sure.
Thank you. Your Honor, we do feel that Mr. Constantino is an appropriate candidate for intervention in lieu of conviction. I think it's very clear from the circumstances surrounding this offense that his mental health issues, he has been diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, bipolar type, as recently as May 23rd of this year. He indicated that it was the impact of his mental health issues on him being isolated in his home that led him to take the vehicle and drive it away. As such, having had him evaluated, he does meet the standards for intervention in lieu of conviction. We do feel that intervention in lieu of conviction would substantially reduce the likelihood of future criminal activity, and as such, we would ask that that motion be granted.
All right, Ms. Cutts, your position.
Your Honor, we do oppose intervention in lieu of conviction in this case. There is an argument to be made that he qualifies. However, qualification is not determinative. This is a privilege and not a right. This is a defendant who has had a prior felony conviction, has gone to prison for that, has had multiple other convictions. When he committed this offense, he indicated that he did not have drug or alcohol issues at that time. Since he has committed the offense, he has been arrested on 2 separate cases at different times that he's been convicted of, and then he had a probation violation, that being an OVI. Then he was later arrested on a criminal trespass, had a probation violation. He is serving that sentence now. Based on that history and testing positive again, and the basically extent of his experience with his mental health issues and dealing with those, we don't feel this is a situation where it's an initial incident where he deserves this opportunity. He already has a record, and we feel that intervention is not appropriate for this case. Thank you.
All right, based on the totality of the information, I'm going to deny the motion for intervention. Mr. Matthews, is he intending to proceed this morning?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Constantino is prepared to plead to the charge as indicted, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Constantino, how old are you?
I'm 50 years old.
How far did you go through school?
Bachelor's degree.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, Your Honor.
Prior to coming to court, have you taken any drugs or alcohol or any prescription medication in the last 48 hours?
Prescription medications, Your Honor.
What have you taken?
My psych meds and some asthma and metformin.
When did you last take the psych meds?
This morning I took one.
Does it affect your ability to understand what's going on here?
No, it helps.
All right. What is your mental health diagnosis?
I've been diagnosed with bipolar types 1 and 2 and schizoaffective bipolar type.
All right. Did you get a copy of the indictment in this case?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any questions about that charge?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Is it your intent to plead guilty to that charge this morning?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Before I accept your guilty plea, I need to determine that you know and understand the constitutional rights you'll be waiving, the consequences of your guilty plea, and the maximum penalty I could give you, and I need to be satisfied that your guilty plea is being made freely, knowingly, and voluntarily. So I'm going to ask you questions. If you don't understand the question, stop me. If you want to talk some more to Mr. Matthews, let me know and I'll give you more time. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a constitutional right to have a trial, either to me or to a jury of 12 Lake County citizens. Do you understand that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes.
If you go to a jury trial, all 12 members must agree to a guilty verdict before you can be found guilty. Do you understand that right?
Yes.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes.
If you go to trial, the prosecutor will call witnesses to testify against you. Do you understand the prosecutor must prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt at a trial?
Yes.
After the witnesses are done testifying for the prosecutor, you have the constitutional right to have your lawyer cross-examine the witnesses. Do you understand that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes.
If you go to trial, you have the right to have witnesses come here and testify for you. Do you understand that right?
Yes,
Are you waiving that right?
yes,
If those witnesses refuse to come to court, I'll issue an order called a subpoena to make them come and testify. Do you understand that right?
yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving that right?
Yes,
You have the right to testify at trial if you want to. Do you understand that right?
yes,
Are you waiving that right?
yes,
You have the constitutional right to not testify at trial if you do not want to. Do you understand that right?
yes,
Are you waiving that right?
yes,
If you decide not to testify at trial, nobody is permitted to comment on that decision. Do you understand that?
yes, Your Honor.
If you go to trial and you're found guilty, you have the right to appeal the guilty finding. Do you understand that right?
Yes,
Are you waiving that right?
yes, Your Honor.
If you file an appeal, you have the constitutional right to have a lawyer represent you in the appeal. Do you understand that right?
Yes,
Are you waiving that right?
yes,
If you could not afford to hire a lawyer, one will be provided at no cost to you. Do you understand that?
yes,
If you file an appeal, you're entitled to have a transcript of all the hearings in this case. Do you understand that right?
yes,
Are you waiving that right?
yes,
If you could not afford a copy of those transcripts, they'd be given to you at no cost. Do you understand that?
yes,
If you plead guilty today, you will not have the right to appeal the guilty finding. Do you understand that?
yes.
Do you have any questions about any of your rights?
No, Your Honor.
Do you still want to plead guilty to this charge?
Yes,
Do you understand by pleading guilty, you're fully admitting your guilt to the charge?
yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand by pleading guilty to this felony that you're voluntarily giving up your freedom for whatever period of time I could sentence you to prison, to jail, or to community control?
Yes, sir.
Grand theft of a motor vehicle is a felony of the 4th degree. It carries a maximum prison sentence of 18 months and a maximum fine of $5,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if a prison term is imposed in this case, you might have to serve a period of post-release control for up to 2 years under the parole authority?
Yes,
If you are placed on post-release control and you violate any conditions, the parole authority could send you back to prison for up to 9 months for each violation, up to 1/2 of my sentence. Do you understand that?
yes, sir.
If your violation of post-release control is a new felony, then you could get an additional consecutive prison sentence for that violation. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
If that were to happen, the maximum prison sentence for the violation would be the greater of 12 months or the time left under post-release control. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if a prison term is imposed, you are eligible for judicial release?
Yes,
I could place you on community control for up to 5 years, but if you violate any conditions, I could send you to prison for 18 months. Do you understand that?
yes, Your Honor.
Has anybody promised you that I would be lenient on you just because you're pleading guilty today?
No,
Has anybody promised you what I will sentence you to in this case?
no, sir.
You understand I do not have to follow the sentencing recommendation of either the prosecutor or your lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time to talk to Mr. Matthews before pleading guilty today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he discussed everything about your case and answered all of your questions?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the advice he has given you?
Yes.
Have you been threatened or coerced in any way to plead guilty today?
No, sir.
Are you freely, knowingly, and voluntarily entering your guilty plea?
Voluntarily, yes, sir.
And knowingly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions at this point?
No, sir.
Ms. Cutts, if the case went to trial, what would the evidence show?
Thank you, Your Honor. Had this matter proceeded to trial, the state would have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that on May 30th of 2025, shortly after 7 a.m., Lake County Sheriff's Office deputy was dispatched to 12155 Cora Court in Concord Township, Lake County, Ohio, for a report of a stolen vehicle. Upon arriving at that location, deputies spoke with Alexander Davis, who is the user of the white Ford Taurus that was gone. It is registered to his mother, Beth Ann Magna, but he is the driver and user of that vehicle. He indicated that he had parked the vehicle in front of the residence around 11:30 p.m., and when he got up this morning, the vehicle was gone. Officers or deputies spoke with individual across the street who had a camera. Though it was very dark outside, it was able to see that the vehicle was taken at approximately 2:30 a.m. The morning of May 30th of 2025. Officers began trying to look into flock or other aspects to try and determine who had taken the vehicle. Later that afternoon, Cleveland Police Department advised the Sheriff's Office that they had located the stolen vehicle at a Sunoco on Lorraine Avenue in Cleveland. That vehicle was towed back and returned to the victims. Officers continued research as to any other issues in that area, since that area does not have a lot of calls for police, and they came upon the name of Anthony Constantino. When they reached out to defendant Anthony Constantino's mother, she had indicated that they were home and that the police could come to their location in case her son was involved. When officers arrived, they spoke with the defendant, who indicated that he had in fact taken the vehicle, the white sedan, the early morning hours or in the evening. His keys had been taken from him and he wanted to drive. So he took the vehicle, he admitted parking it at the Sunoco and then getting a ride from that location. Neither Mr. Davis nor Ms. Magna had given permission for that vehicle to be taken. All this occurring in Lake County, Ohio, and that would have been the state's evidence.
Mr. Matthews, anything to add to those facts?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Constantino, did you hear what Ms. Cutts said, that the facts would show if the case went to a trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are those facts true?
Yes, sir.
All right, what is your plea to grand theft of a motor vehicle, a felony?
Can I say
for?
one thing? The only thing that's not true is, it wasn't just that I wanted to go for a drive. It was that I was mentally ill and I was isolating for an extended period of time, and I was stressed and grievously stressed, and that's why I took the car as a form of escape. But I just wanted to add to that, if I may.
All right, thank you. All right, what is your plea to grand theft of a motor vehicle, a felony for?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Mr. Matthews?
Thank you, Your Honor. Prior to the hearing, I did review the written plea of guilty of Mr. Constantino. He indicated that he understood and that he intended to sign it. The date there, 12/10/25. Is it not working?
No.
Thank you. Sorry.
That's all right. Thanks.
Your Honor, I've received the written plea of guilty and judgment entry. I witnessed the defendant sign the document of the court. His counsel signed it and I signed it.
All right, Mr. Constantino, is this your signature on this written plea of guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sign it voluntarily?
Yes.
Do you want me to accept your written plea of guilty?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll accept the written plea of guilty. The defendant was present, Mr. Matthews, advised of all of his rights, made a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary waiver. He understands the nature of the charge, the consequences of his guilty plea, and the maximum penalty. Find it to be knowing, intelligent, and voluntary. I will accept his plea of guilty and find him guilty of grand theft of a motor vehicle, a felony for. Mr. Matthews, all the reports having been done, is there any reason not to proceed to sentencing at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Your Honor, we are requesting community control from Mr. Constantino. We do realize he does have prior prison, but that was from 1996. Since then, he has had several small misdemeanor offenses, but no additional felonies. Obviously, this is a situation where Mr. Constantino's mental health most likely is going to dictate the success that he has on community control. We have secured, I guess, subject to his insurance, a bed at the C.H. Everett House in the city of Mentor. It is a residential treatment facility that focuses on mental health patients and residents. We do feel that going there and continuing with his regimen of mental health medications and counseling would be the best way to indicate, or I'm sorry, to ensure his success on community control. There is, to go along with that, an issue regarding drug use. We do understand that, and we would ask that the court consider, while he is at Everett House, that he participated and complete an intensive outpatient program. There are some members of Mr. Constantino's family that would like to speak at the appropriate time, Your Honor.
Go ahead. Just tell me your name and whatever it is you want me to know.
My name is Monica, and I am Anthony's mother. I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but my son Anthony had no malicious intent when he took that vehicle. He was manic, and somehow it seemed like a good idea for him. When the police came, he immediately confessed that he took it. There was a wallet in the vehicle with a lot of money, and he never took any of it. He paid his own way to take an Uber home. And he was clean and sober for over 6 years, and he worked very hard to maintain his sobriety. The choices he made during his manic state should be no reflection of his real character. He is kind, honest, and reliable. His mental illness has opened up his heart and made him more compassionate and understanding of others' struggles. I am proud of the person that my husband and I raised, because I know who Anthony really is. And picking up the pieces is what we will work on together. And the only time that he has had any felonies or any problems with the law was when he was manic. And after he'd get manic is when he would drink or smoke pot or something else. But when he is not mentally ill, he is a wonderful human being. So, and I know him better than anyone.
Thank you.
My name is Kristen Phelps. I am Anthony's sister. And I spent much of my adult life learning about mental illness because of what my brother has been diagnosed with and has gone through. And I have had to learn a lot of care and compassion and understanding for something that thankfully I don't suffer from. What I can say is that he is a wonderful person. He is a great candidate for community control and getting assistance. I trust him with my daughter, who is 5 years old. He loves her implicitly. I trust him in my home. I trust him with finances. I trust him with all of those things. This is a product of his mental illness, what he did and has done in the past. Please consider him getting assistance and help as opposed to him. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of Anthony, Your Honor. My name's Ken Marinowski. I'm a longtime friend of Anthony's. We grew up together as kids. We played backyard football. We rode bikes, played G.I. Joe action figures. Anthony has always been polite, kind, giving, respectful to me, to my family. My parents love him as their own son. Early in his life, adult life, he received the bipolar diagnosis, and that changed many things. Anthony received the needed treatment for his bipolar diagnosis at the time. He participated willingly in AA's 12-step program, and he came to me and my brother and any others who he felt he offended somehow in life and asked for our forgiveness personally. Anthony also became a true disciple of God, attending church regularly and sharing the good news with those who would listen. He even gave up listening to music we loved as children, just to make sure that he would maintain a good, straight, and narrow path. He enjoyed long periods of total sobriety, and when I heard him talk about the need for escape. It made me think of what the times he would drive an hour to see me just to practice Tai Chi with me. I'm a Tai Chi practitioner, and he would spend an hour driving one way to spend an hour with me practicing Tai Chi, which is a mind, body, spirit exercise, and drive an hour back as a means of betterment for himself. He knew what he had to do to maintain positive relationships with family and friends, and most importantly, to maintain self-dignity. It was only when, for whatever reason, there was a lapse in his medication or a change in his medication that he began to slip into bad behaviors. Anthony has served his time and accepted the consequences of his actions, even when those actions were not made by the Anthony that we know and love, and by the Anthony who he knows he is. He needs help, not further punishment, and he is ready, willing, and able to accept such help if granted. As one who can truly attest to the good-natured, respectful, dutiful person that Anthony is, I'm here today to ask that you give him the opportunity he deserves to heal not only his wounds, but also the wounds of others he has inadvertently caused during his manic episodes when he was clearly not the Anthony we know and love. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Constantino, what do you want to tell me before I sentence you?
I don't know if I could add too much to that, but this is what I prepared. Your Honor and everyone present today, I sincerely apologize for my actions on the night of the incident. I apologize to the car owner, my neighbors, the police, and the court system. Although I accept full responsibility for my actions, I ask the court for leniency as far as prison time, and that I could do the program at Everett. I ask, since, as I already mentioned, 90% of my trouble with the law has come due to my mental illness, directly or indirectly. I won't say it's always a direct result. There's drugs involved as well, sometimes. I recently had over 6 years clean and sober, and I've also had many 2-3 years here and there, couple years clean and sober since 2010. Most of that time since 2010 I've been clean and sober, except for some relapses, few relapses. I will be working twice as hard on my sobriety and mental health. I will be going to more AA meetings, returning to counseling, acquiring a case manager, and expanding my support system. I hope to be recommended by the court to this mental health rehab program at Everett. And thank you, everybody here today, for my family and friends, for their support and their love, and all their support over the years, for always being that positive light in my life. And everybody here today, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Butts.
Thank you, Your Honor. As the court heard the facts of this case, an 18-year-old had parked his car outside of his girlfriend's house, went in to stay the evening. When he came back out, his vehicle was gone. Had to call the police to try and locate it, look at cameras, things of that nature. Officers were able to identify Mr. Constantino as a possible individual. They went and spoke with him. As he came down the steps, as the officers were in the house, he asked if he should be honest with them, things of that nature. He did end up admitting that he had taken the vehicle. He had indicated that a friend had picked him up. They had gotten a meal, and then that person had driven him home. This did have more of an impact on the car owners than I sometimes see. I spoke with the mother, Beth Ann Magda, and she was extremely upset that somebody had taken the vehicle that she had struggled to get for her child to be able to travel wherever he needed to. She, at that point, had indicated that she would want any maximum sentence. I did speak to her about the realities of what had occurred, and she did become a little less upset, but she was very upset. Her son was also not upset to the level of his mother, but was concerned that his items had been taken. Thankfully, the vehicle was recovered. It was not damaged. His wallet was still in the vehicle. They did have to pay for towing. The insurance did cover that, but they had to take the effort of not having the vehicle, figure out things, do things of that nature. So it did cause some harm to them with the whole process and recovery of all this occurring. Though I can't say the relationship with the victim facilitated the offense, I can say the relationship with the neighborhood and the location did, since he took the car from basically his neighbor's, the street outside his neighbor's house. Defendant does have a history of criminal convictions that go back to approximately 1994 with leaving the scene. In 1996, he has a failure to comply with an order or signal of a police officer. That's felony of the 4th degree, as well as a resisting arrest. That is the case that he did go to prison on. 1998, he has an OVI conviction. 1999, loitering and obstructing. 2010, a possession of drug paraphernalia. 2013, disorderly conduct. In 2016, disorderly conduct. One of those was a reduction. In 2019, criminal trespass. Then he has this case. Once he is out on bond on this case, he then commits another OVI that he is convicted of. Then when he is on probation for that case and out on bond on this case, he commits a criminal trespass going into somebody's garage. That also triggers the probation violation for the OVI. So he is currently on probation with Painesville Municipal Court. He was not at the time of this offense, but he has been put on since, and he is currently serving a sentence that is set to expire on December 30th. So he did violate the bond in this case, in both the OVI case and the criminal trespass. He also tested positive for fentanyl and THC on October 2nd through the Painesville Municipal Court. So there do appear to be drug and alcohol issues. It's the state's understanding that he told probation that he was not on any drugs or alcohol at the time of committing this offense, that he relapsed afterwards. He has not responded favorably to previous sanctions, obviously with the probation violation, not following bond in new cases. He does have that prior prison. The individual who did the psychological evaluation had indicated a guarded prognosis due to his history of noncompliance with mental health treatment in the past. So there are various concerns about the defendant following through with things and his history and the recidivism concerns. So the question comes down to whether he's amenable for community control. He has not been on felony probation or had a felony for a period of time. So if if the court finds that he is amenable, we would not be opposed to community control. He has 21 days credit. We do feel substantial treatment for both mental health and substance abuse would be appropriate in this case. We would recommend jail treatment program, NeoCap, then that he either go to Orca or Everett, Lake House, Concord Pines, kind of a halfway house situation, then into sober living. That he have mental health evaluations, whether that be psychological, psychiatric, evaluations and follow recommendations, that he engage in individual counseling and follow all recommendations, that he participate in 12-step programming every week with a sponsor and home group, that he have one doctor, one dentist, and one pharmacy, and sign releases, that he not use any drug or alcohol, and that screens come back negative. However, prescriptions he would be able to take, but only as prescribed. That he have no contact with Alexander Davis or Beth Ann Magna. And depending on what is appropriate, I know he has had part-time work in the past, that he engage in some sort of at least part-time work, school, or activity to keep him busy. That he pay all costs and fees, and that he be made aware that if he does violate, if he's given this opportunity, that prison is still a possibility. So that would be the state's recommendation at this point.
Thank you. Mr. Constantino, when this happened on May 30th, what medications were you prescribed? Do you remember?
Yeah, I was taking Risperidol, Depakote, and Seroquel, but this is something I failed to mention in my letter, if I may. December, January, I started experiencing severe depression. In February, I went on an antidepressant called Vraylar. I've never had a good history of antidepressants, but the depression was so bad I couldn't make it into work and this was going on for weeks. So I tried to take another antidepressant, and that's how all the problems started happening. After I asked if I should continue taking it or get off of it after I started having some issues, and they said it's just stay on it, keep taking it for now.
Is that, I assume that was the same prescriber as your other medication?
That was, yes, Circle Health in Parma, yeah. And I still went to Parma because that's where I used to live. But yeah, and that's what I was taking. Depakote, risperidone, Seroquel, and Vraylar.
All right, so in advance of when this happened, when did you start feeling the effects of being off with this medication?
Well, I didn't go off of it.
No, not that you went off of it, but you started feeling different.
Oh, you mean
Well, the indication.
which medication?
The indication, the
antidepressant?
indication is when this happened, that you were you were not in a good way mentally, okay?
Right.
Was that because, do you think that was because of the medication, the change in medication?
Yeah, the change of
How long
medication.
had that been going on?
That had been going on since February. Last
Okay.
February, I started taking the Vraylar.
Okay. Have you had periods like that before?
Yeah, with other antidepressants, yeah.
Go ahead.
It was around Easter, Anthony, that when I started noticing,
Yeah.
like, certain things you would say, and I think, you know what, that doesn't seem right.
Okay, so the bottom line is you need to stay on top of your medication with your doctors, okay? And you've got to communicate, and I know you're telling me you communicated that you weren't feeling right with the Vraylar, okay? But you've got to work with your provider, because when you don't, here's what happens, right? And then the drugs happen, and then
Yeah.
everything goes off the rails, right? So it's something that you need to keep on top of, and you got the help of your family, right? But that's something you really have to stay on top of that, okay? All right, I've considered the reports and what you said, what your, those in support of you have said. I've considered what council has stated. I'm gonna place you on community control for 3 years. You're gonna serve 21 days in the jail with credit for 21. You're gonna enter and complete the Everett program and follow all their recommendations. If for some reason Everett falls through, then we'll do it at Orca, but you're to follow whatever recommendations come out of that. Now, while you are there, you're also to obtain treatment for the illicit drug and alcohol situation that you've had, okay, and follow those recommendations. You're to see only one doctor and one dentist and one pharmacy for any prescription medication. Any medication you're prescribed, you're to take only as prescribed. You're gonna sign releases so probation can get all your records. You're to have no illicit drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. I want you to attend at least 3 AA or NA meetings a week and get a sponsor. To obtain part-time employment as your situation with your disability allows. At the appropriate time. I don't want you doing that right away. I want you getting back on track right away. No contact with Alexander Davis. And you'll pay the costs and supervision fees in this case. Any other terms, Ms. Wehagen?
Oh, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Constantino, do you understand all the terms?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you very much.
Any question about the terms?
No, Your Honor.
All right, if you don't comply, then the state will file a motion to terminate your community control, and if I find you violated, then you face a potential 18 months in prison. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. You got to take control of your situation with those that'll help you, okay?
Yes.
Anything else, Ms. Cutts?
Your Honor, in addition to the no contact for Alexander Davis, if we could also have for Beth Ann Magna,
I don't know that I can do that because it was his car, wasn't it?
registered in her name.
And her name's, okay, so no contact with her also. Okay? Anything else, Mr. Matthews?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right,